This episode of On the Line is presented to you by Living.Fit, your one stop for all your fitness needs. Make sure you go download the app Living.Fit today. Now here's the show. Welcome to On the Line. Today is Friday, June 17th, and we got an awesome show for you guys. We got Downtown TJ Brown on the show. Talk about his upcoming fight, his past couple fights, kind of his roller coaster kind of career, you want to call it, and being one of the more exciting fighters in this UFC. And we have a couple Bryce Mitchell stories in there, but that's a fun interview. We have our last bell, our little 2-minute preview of the UFC card coming up this weekend. We got our medals for the week. Some shout outs, all that kind of fun stuff. But before we get into TJ Brown, if you're watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, listen on Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, any podcasting platform, hit that follow, leave a review like one of the cool kids. But without further ado, let's go on into TJ Brown. We are joined by a very special guest. He's one of the UFC boys out of Arkansas. We are joined by Downtown TJ Brown. My man, what's up?
Man, I'm living life, man. Living the dream. Thank you guys for having me on.
Love having you on. We're all living the dream here. But first, I know I was listening to all your interviews, getting ready for this, and I think 6 guys asked about the origin of the nickname. That's been answered. My question though is, being a country boy in Arkansas, I think it's a little weird being called Downtown.
Oh man, I am from the country, but where I live in Arkansas, we do have a pretty nice little downtown area where at one time I was probably spending too much time hanging out at, So yeah, we do have a downtown area, and heck, it rings pretty well with my last name. So
it does. It has the flow. I will say, I'm not shitting on it. I was just curious, a little. So you live in Little Rock, right? So
right.
You have the downtown. You're in the capital, so you got some fun downtown there.
Oh yeah,
that's some fun downtown there. Oh yeah, for sure. So one more thing, real quick. I don't know if you've ever gotten this before. This isn't just because you have the Southern accent, but has anyone ever told you sound a little bit like Theo Von?
Dude, I love Theo Von, man. I actually went to see him live not too long ago, man. He's a trip, dude. I enjoy listening to him. I think one of the best podcasts he had was with Peterson on there. He had Jordan Peterson on there, man. I love listening to that cat, man.
Yeah, he's
and
fun.
Yeah, he sounds like every good old boy I know from Arkansas. So.
It's just, I don't know. It is. I love it. I mean, have you met him yet? I feel like, because I know he's had Bryce on. So I
no,
feel like
he had Bryce on, man. But I haven't met him.
Not met him yet. Eventually. So let's talk to fight career, man. I mean, you kind of had a fun run in the UFC. I mean, it may not be the results that you want, but we all know that TJ Brown, when he fights, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be entertaining. Do you like being known as an entertaining guy, or would you rather be someone, you get the wins and all that kind of stuff, but fans are like, oh, it's TJ Brown. He's gonna win, but it's like.
I think, I've kind of always carried that feather in my hat, of putting on an entertaining fight. I mean, you watch my fights from the beginning, man. I'm out there raising hell and fighting tooth and nail. But, at this point in my career, I'd really like to start getting a little more cleaner finishes, getting finishes, putting on a performance of the night instead of fight of the night, So, I've at this point, I'd really, although I like fight of the night and I like the attention it brings, man, I'm ready to start putting some guys away. I've been getting a lot of decisions my last few fights, and coming up, I never went to decision. Obviously knocking guys out or submitting them. So I really want to get back on the path to finishing some folks.
Oh, for sure. And I know you've learned from experience, for instance, when you fought Kai Kamaka. I mean, it was kind of back and forth. I mean, it was an incredible fight, and he's just a tough motherfucker. Charles Rosa, also a tough motherfucker.
Agreed.
But after the Kai Kamaka fight, you kind of got the shit under the stick of being one of those guys. Sometimes, and I don't want to say crotch sniffer. That's a little aggressive, but you're not a crotch sniffer. But you kind of got the shit under the stick where fans are like, what the fuck, dude? You didn't win, blah 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 blah. Have you learned to roll with the fans and things like that?
That was. Honestly, when I first got in UFC and I received some of that hate, it was really new. It was new to me, and I didn't expect it. It's like my Bryce, he has his manager run a lot of his social media, so it's like, man, I understand why guys do that. Like, man, here I am fighting my ass off, and then I've got to worry about some guy in his DM cuss me because he bet money on me or because I beat up his friend, or just crazy stuff. It's crazy. I would never do something like that. So it's crazy. It's just beyond me. Somebody would do that. But But man, I've accepted that's just a part of the game, and they're gonna watch me win or lose, you know. So it's just something I got to put up with.
And it's feel like you're probably gonna have a like in your DM probably too, you probably have a guy who's like really happy with you, and then like months later at a different fight, he's just gonna be shitty at you. You just like collect all those receipts, just take the screenshots, and just kind of save them. You know, you save the guys going back and forth. Like it's a fickle game, and it's just one of those. Again, you just like you said. I don't understand how these people like will deem me like I fucking hate you. I hope you die. I hope
Yeah,
you never get
well,
another win in the
dude,
UFC.
if you see some of this stuff, it's absolutely amazing, man. Like these guys need to get a life, get something to do off the screen, you know.
Just live in a mom's
Yeah,
basement, I guess.
I'm gonna start keeping those receipts, like you said. That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
keep the receipts. Keep the receipts, and then you can have some fun with it. Those always go viral. But is that did you get a lot of shit for the blonde hair? Because I feel like you pulled it off pretty well. But I feel
Dude,
like you
not
got rid
really.
of it.
Not really, dude. I didn't get much, you know. I think it was mostly positive vibes from that. Yeah.
Why'd you get rid of it then?
Well, the last one, you know, I kind of did the platinum on top, and I'm getting my haircuts this weekend. I'm probably gonna do something crazy with it.
Love it, love it. I was gonna say I like the look. You pulled it off. And also, but to be fair, it wasn't as Arkansas. You know, I don't for some reason like when I saw it, like there's no he's from Arkansas. I don't know. It doesn't seem very Arkansas like
Yeah,
that.
I get that all the time. You know, I
I
get
know you do. I
yeah.
know you do. It's a little shocking, but it is what it is. You got to rep it with pride. You got to rep it with pride. And I know one other thing, real quick. I'm glad you didn't say this, but I know in a past interview you said, "I don't really care what some guy from Indiana thinks." Well, I'm from Indiana. But, I'm not going to shit on you for saying that. I thought it was kind of funny. I just thought it was so funny. Out of all the
Yeah.
states you picked, it was mine.
Oh man.
It's all good. No, I mean, people say that shit all the time. It is what it is. I thought that was kind of funny though. Anyway, so as we said, like this past fight wasn't as wild as the Kai Kamaka fight, but it was almost as nerve wracking because you opened up the 2022 fight year schedule. Was it more nerve wracking going into the Kai Kamaka fight off of the two losses, or is it more nerve wracking kicking off the year in 2022?
100% the first one. You know, I just come off two losses, man. Like I was like, man, my job's on the line here. You know, I got to go out here and get this dub, and I knew Kyle was a tough cat, so definitely the first one. The second was more nerve wracking because I trained for Gabriel Benitez, which is a
Yeah.
southpaw. So I did all this stuff in training camp, getting ready for southpaw, and then 2 days, 3 days out, my opponent changed. You know, so that was a bit nerve wracking. But man, it's like I had to go back to like when I fought in like USA boxing, amateur boxing. Like, you know, you showed up to the venue, you put your name in a hat, you know, and you didn't know who you were fighting. Like you were there to fight, you know. So I just had to kind of go back to that mentality and attitude, and but definitely the Kai Kamaka was more nerve wracking, man. Like I really felt like I was fighting for my job, and I had a lot to prove, man. It's like, dude, I didn't make it this far just to make it this far, you know, and I'm still yet to show everyone really my potential and how good I am. So, uh, yeah, I definitely say the Kai Kamaka fight.
All right, all right. And I know, like, it's. I feel like that probably also had to do a little bit with why the fans got a little bit too, because like you weren't just fighting the fight and make a paycheck. You're really fighting for the UFC career. I mean, a three fight loss streak. I mean,
Yeah.
might be out. That's just the way it is right now.
Yep.
But then let's go back to that Rosa fight too. I mean, there's one of those things where you said earlier you want to go focus more on finishes, things like that. However, I know like in the second round you went for an arm triangle, and admittedly you kind of gassed out a little bit afterwards. Are you
Yeah.
going to be a little more? Was it? Did you just think you had it? We're just kind of
Dude,
going all in, like I want this finish so fucking bad. I'm just gonna go balls to the wall.
yeah. So if you know, if you watch my career, like that's my smooth. Like you can
Yeah,
ask anybody, like, man, I get somebody in that arm triangle, it's like it's game over. Like it's a wrap. And dude, you called it at the end of the second, man. I gave it all I could to finish that, you know. But I don't feel like I'm gonna change anything. Like, man, I'm gonna go into this fight trying to finish him too. Like, I've trained my ass off, so like, man, if I do hammer down and go for a finish, whether it's striking or on the ground, I'm gonna believe in my recovery and keep plucking away. You know, it's like, man, uh, you've watched my fights, man. I'm a dog, so like, man, I train hard for a reason. So when I go out there, I want to finish, but if I need to fight 15 minutes hard, I can do it.
okay, love to hear it. Love to hear it. And so now we're going forward. This is part of the new. It sounds like we have a new TJ Brown coming out here in a couple weeks. Now I'm not gonna butcher this guy's name. I'm not even gonna try. Do you know how to
Dude,
pronounce his name?
I don't even try. I don't even. I mean, I don't mean no disrespect, bro, but
No.
I just like copy and paste the name.
That's what I'm gonna end up doing. It's one of those things. It's almost I feel like it's almost more disrespectful to try and just completely
Right,
butcher it
right.
than it is just go be like, no, I don't know how to say it. I think it's like Shayilan. I think that's how you pronounce his first name, last
Dude,
name.
that sounds pretty dang good.
I think it sounds pretty good. I wasn't a broadcast school, so I'm not like John Anik over here. I can't do that kind of shit. Not Brandon Fitzgerald, but I got a little try. So like, yeah, as we'll say Shiloh. So you got this fight coming up. I mean, it's gotta be kind of frustrating though. I know you've been egging to go on for a fight in front of a crowd, and out of like these 8 week span, there's only 2 fight cards without fans, and somehow you ended up on one of them. So a little
Bro.
frustrating.
Oh my gosh, dude. Like, let's be honest, man. I've been doing this for a decade, man. I've been fighting my ass off. I finally get to the UFC, and my last four have been in the Apex. It's like, man, but I just gotta remind myself I'm getting paid the same, like,
Yeah.
with this new contract, I'm, making a little better money, So I just gotta focus on going out there and performing and making that money. But after this fight, I'm definitely gonna say something, after the fight, like, man, get me on one of these live cards. I want to fight in front of some people. It's one of the reasons I fight, man. Like the feeling you get walking out that tunnel and getting your hand raised and people yelling your name, like, man, I live for that shit, man. Like that's I love it, dude, and I'm ready to get that feeling back.
It's almost like a glorified contender series. It's like now you have walkout music. Like, was it?
Yeah.
Was it? Why can't you have walkout music in the contender series?
I don't know, but that was one of the weirdest times I ever had walking out. It's almost silent in there, and they open the doors. It was one of the moments where I was like, I had to snap my focus back in because I was literally just thinking about how awkward this was walking out of music.
That's so weird. Yeah, so literally, it's just like a glorified contender series. 'Cause you have fans again though at the Apex. Luckily, at least you have
Yeah,
something there.
right.
And so and you have the music, but it's just like it's just like an elevated version of it. And you kind of fought on a Mickey Mouse pay per view. You fought it when you fought on the Miocic Cormier card,
Yeah,
and you still didn't have any fans. So you had the pay per view, but didn't have the fans.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
frustrating. It's
yeah.
frustrating. So what should we expect out of this fight with Shilan?
Man, I'm gonna piece this guy up. No disrespect to him, but man, my boxing is so much better than he is. My striking is a lot better. He is a good wrestler, but I train with some of the best wrestlers, and Bryce Mitchell. Like, if I don't believe anybody in the featherweight division can hold me down. So just expect me to go out there and piece this cat up. He takes me down, I'm getting back up. I'm gonna piece him up some more till finally I get a finish. Again, no disrespect, but I should go out here and put on a great performance.
Love to hear it, and I love to hear it. I expect a great performance too. I'm expecting to see. I'm really excited to see this new TJ Brown.
Let's
And
go.
so another exactly. Maybe maybe if you make it nice and quick, maybe you're like, hey man, need a short notice guy. I'm there for you. I'm there for you.
That would be
Yeah,
ideal, man.
it would be ideal. I've noticed you've been training with Bryce a lot recently. Is it a little bit more than usual, or is it just
Man,
kind of
not really. Not really. We've always been training together, man. Like since day
yeah?
one, me and him's kind of been together. Uh, the energy is good though, man. Seeing someone you've been with your entire life. My son's about to come in the door. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you guys.
Oh no, you're good. You're
All
good.
right,
You're
cool.
good.
Sorry, it's great to have the energy with Bryce there because man, you have someone you train with your entire life, and he's broken to the top 10 of the UFC. It's like, man, why not me? Like why not me? And it's just a great energy, man. And for around here, we know we're like the only two that really knows what it takes to compete at this level and win at this level. And it's no disrespect to other people around here, but it's just is what it is. And once you've been at that, you've trained at that level, you compete at that level, you hold yourself at a higher standard. You're at a higher level, and we're really good at holding each other that accountable. And it's about the same, man, but just a little more intensity, I'd say.
So obviously, all of the Bryce, and for you, obviously, you're happy for Bryce seeing him succeed the way he succeeded. But is there a part of you that's like, God damn it, I want that too. I
Yeah,
want that
yeah,
so bad.
for sure. Like, dude, nothing but love for my boy Thug. But it's I'll be lying. I'll be lying to you if I didn't was a bit at times. I was like, man, I wish that was me, or that, man, I why not me? But here it's all shaking out, man. I stayed the course, even when I had a few lumps in the road. I stayed the course, and man, it's fixing to start paying off, dude. So, man, I'm just grateful to be here, man, and we're on the same team, man. We're headed to the top.
Exactly, you can do it together. It's human nature. It's human nature to like at least want it a little bit. So it's
Exactly.
perfectly fine to say that. What kind of dog you got? I hear the dog barking in the background. What kind of
Pit,
dog
man,
you
he's
got?
beautiful, dude. I wish I could show you. He's beautiful. He's my guard dog, man.
Protecting you from your son before he comes into the house. So another thing, real quick, is I know you used to play football. You were a D2 college football
Yeah,
player.
man.
What position did you play?
I play defensive back and running back. Yeah, I was all-state running back. Played in the All-Star game here in Arkansas. Went down there. Started out playing. Made some bad decisions while I was in college. But at least I got my second chance here fighting.
Exactly. At least you got your second chance fighting. So are you a Razorback guy?
I like him, man. To be honest, I'm not like a diehard fan on just anything, Like I'm really so wrapped up in. I know this sounds selfish, but I'm so wrapped up in really on my career and me doing me. It's like outside of me and my son and all of his practices and different extracurricular activities, like I'm full with that, man. And I don't mean to be selfish. It just is what it is. I have to focus on me and my son, and I don't get a lot of extra time to sit around and be a fan as much.
No, I 100% get that. 100% get that. And I mean, it is like being in the fight game. It literally takes your entire schedule, and then being a father on top of that, it's even more. Are you? So is he getting into the martial arts as well? Or are you letting him
Yeah,
go through
yeah.
the same kind of route?
He won state in wrestling.
Ooh, no
A
big
few years
deal. No big
back.
deal.
He likes to kickbox and stuff, but I don't think he plans on fighting or anything. But I think it's important for him to know to have self defense. Like kids are mean, dude. Like but there's a lot of bullies and stuff, and I don't want him to have to deal with stuff like that.
I feel like he should have his little advantage. His dad's a UFC fighter. Kids start making fun of
Yeah,
him, even though he can defend himself. They'll be like, "I mean, my dad will kick your dad's ass any day of the
right.
week. Doesn't matter." That's facts. That's facts.
Facts,
So one more quick question about Bryce. Who's a better fisherman, you or Bryce?
dude. I school Bryce in fishing. Give me a break. Give me a break. I have seen
Uh,
him catch a deer with his bare hands though, and that's pretty damn impressive.
that is. Wait, really? With his bare hands?
Dude, I swear I've seen it, dude. Me and I was actually following him. Me and my son were following him to go fishing down this dirt road, and we seen this little baby deer, another deer, run across, and Bryce just locks up his truck, jumps out, runs out there and catches him bare hand and brings him out. Like it was amazing.
That's wow, wow! Chasing down Edson Barboza, chasing down deer in the streets of Arkansas. Man, what a story! And so, one more thing before we move on to my intern here. He has a little couple questions. It is a fun little segment. Um, is it really true you've broken your hand 3 times?
3 times, brother. Three
Three
times.
times? Did you do them in fights, or is it all like, or at least did you like break
Uh,
them on someone's face?
Two were in fights, and then one was in sparring. I'd
Okay.
come back. The last one I came back too early from surgery. Like I didn't wait
Uh,
long enough, and it just
yeah.
re-broke in the same spot.
So at least you broke them in fights, so it was worth it. You got
Yeah.
him in the fights, and it wasn't like
Well,
in. You
one
made
of them
money at
was.
least.
One of them was. The other one,
Uh,
I won one. I lost one. So.
Oh well. At least he got paid. At least he got paid a little bit. At least he got paid a little bit. There's always a silver lining. All right, man. So as I said, my intern here, he has a series of 5 questions. This is a little bit different than what you've probably been used to. This is how it works. We'll ask you a question. If you like it, you answer it. But if you don't like the question, you can tell him you don't like the question, and then we wrap this thing up.
Okay.
Yeah, so we try to get a bit ridiculous with this.
Yeah. We
Woo!
have some fun.
But starting off, we're gonna keep it nice and simple. So what's the best move you've seen pulled off at one of your son's wrestling competitions? Because I'm sure there've been some nasty
Dude,
ones.
it is unbelievable. First of all, it's unbelievable to see these other states like Oklahoma and some of these kids. You see kids like 9, 8 years old, like pulling off some nasty stuff. Just I don't have a move in particular, but just their ability to be able to chain together different moves is unbelievable, and their knowledge at that age is unbelievable. It's like, man, they're going to be so far ahead.
hmm I remember like towards my tail end of my wrestling career in high school, I would just see like kids coming up and they were already so much
It's
more knowledgeable,
unbelievable,
and I was like,
unbelievable.
"What the
Yeah, it's
hell?"
unbelievable, dude.
All right, but moving on. Question number 2. So, which famous Arkansas native do you think would be better in the octagon at their prime of their lives? Scottie Pippen or Johnny Cash?
Woo. I don't know. I think Johnny Cash might have some dog in him, so I'm gonna go with Johnny Cash. Scottie Pippen, athlete. Don't get me wrong. He actually grew up near my hometown, so I want to show him love, but I think Johnny Cash a dog.
I mean, you can't survive those stints in prison without picking up at least something,
Something.
knowing how to fight. So I agree with you actually. You know, it's tough taking a bet against an athlete, but Johnny Cash was that
Weight
dude.
class divisions too, like Scotty would have to go against a heavyweight too, like Johnny Cash. You'd go against a little bit some lighter weight classes, and that's when you can really get that dog out, you know. Yeah.
All right, moving on. Question number 3. So, if you could franchise your own sports team, what sport would it be for, and where would you base it and name it?
Man, let's give Arkansas a pro football team, man. We're gonna call them what we gonna call? We're gonna call them the Twisters, man.
Twisters.
Ooh, I like that.
I could be. I can see like a nice little color scheme, like burnt red and like gold going on with like Twister going through it.
Let's go.
I can see that going. Yeah. All right. So, question number 4. We were talking about your D2 college football days earlier. So, which current NFL team do you think would benefit the most from having you on their roster right now?
None of them, bro. I wasn't bro. I mean, I was just mean, dude. Like, man, I'm well undersized. Was just I was a big fish in a small pond, dude. None of them. They don't want me.
just a gritty motherfucker on the field. That's what you were.
I was tough and ran like a 4.5. Like I was just tough, dude. Mean and tough.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think every team needs someone who's ready to punch someone in the face for their teammates.
That's true.
Do need enforcers. You need enforcers.
Yep. All right, final question here. So, as I'm sure you knew, the Johnny Depp trial was all over social media last week. So, in honor of that, like Edward Scissorhands, if you could be TJ Blank Hands, what do you think you would go with?
Oh, gosh. Can I pass this one?
You can pass on this one. It's the last one. You can pass on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Appreciate you coming on. So before we let you go, obviously you're not going to say you're going to lose. You're not going to say you're going to win by decision. I know you said you're going to knock him out. But based on this fight, how do you see it going? How do you really, like, if you have to not make a prediction, but if you have to give up a little preview of what you see happening, what should we expect next
you ever seen like those Pez dispensers, where you pop up the head?
Yeah.
You're going to see my jab and his head doing like this, like a Pez dispenser. That's what you can expect.
Let's go.
I like that. Use the jab. It's the best tool on the feet. Best tool on the feet. All right, man. Appreciate you coming on. Really, really appreciate your time. If there's anyone else you want to give a shout out to, go ahead and give your shout outs.
Sure, man. I always like to give a shout out to my coaches, Rolly Delgado, James Krause, and all my training partners at Westside and Glory MMA, man. Without them, this wouldn't be possible, man. And thank you guys for having me on, man. Thank you for giving me this platform.
Oh, absolutely, man. Loved having you on. Good luck next Saturday, my man. Oh, very much. A lot of fun talking to TJ, man. I love how authentic he is. But let's go ahead and cue the music. Let's cue this thing up. Let's do this 2-minute drill. Last bell for UFC Austin. All right, we kick off the Austin card with the Marriage Destroyer, their home wrecker. Roman Dolidze facing off with the Darce Knight, Kyle Dawkins. If you're cheering for Dolidze, you're an absolute scumbag. You're a shitbag and will be disappointed as Dawkins delivers justice for JP Buys with the late finish. Hey, mommy, can we have Derek Brunson versus Daniel Cormier? No, we have Derek Brunson versus Daniel Cormier at home with Phil Hawes versus Darren Wynn. Short Kings rejoice with Darren Wynn coming home with the win, but violence at a premium discount. Moving on to the ageless wonder, Court McGee, who's looking to finish the job. The cage started months ago against rising prospect Jeremiah Wells. Look as Court grinds him out for 3 rounds and goes to Bruce Buffer for the decision. And now to the featured prelim of the night as Adrian Yanez these hands on the bigot, Tony Kelly. Should be a fight of the night contender, but Yanez will become the most popular guy in Brazil by the end of the night by finishing the bigot, Tony Kelly. Did we mention he's a bigot? Anyway, sirens blaring as RoboCop Gregory Rodriguez looks to stop the Cuban Missile Crisis, Julian Marquez. RoboCop may be praying to the Robo-Gods in the 3rd round, but a greasy decision is incoming for the Brazilian bot. Tell a hardcore you don't know what's next, Grom vs. Demir, and you'll be ratioed into oblivion on MMA Twitter. 2 highly touted 150 fighters, but at the end of the night, only one will remain, and that man will be Grom, who will put the giant G in Georgia. As Grom maybe finishes late, I don't know, huh? I'm kind of This upcoming gas out presented to you by P3 Protein Snacks, their official protein snack of the UFC, as Albert Uriah vs. Joaquin Buckley looks to be one of the most main potential fights of the card. Incoming grapple fucking as a Detroit cop, Dale Brown, can't do a damn thing. But local cop Kevin Holland has a means to put Tim Means to sleep, has propelled himself up the welterweight rankings, and what he has said is Sean O'Malley propel system. We didn't say he said it. It is what it is. And just when you thought we had enough of the old dudes, we get a loser leaves town with old Cowboy Cerrone and Joe Luzon. Cowboys don't exist anymore in this country, and they probably are not going to exist in the UFC after this fight. Joe Luzon with the big fat dub. And now to the main event of the evening as the Orc. I'm sorry, dude. That was mean. I'm sorry, Josh. You're too nice. I take that back. Not an orc. Josh Emmett squares off against Boston's pride and friend of the program, Calvin Kattar. Barring a miracle flashlight knockout from Josh, we'll expect it to be a clinic from Kattar that will make Boston feel better after losing to the finals, and Steph Curry becomes their dad. Now, back to the show. Okay, well, I thought that was pretty fun. We'll see if it lasts. We'll see how y'all respond to that. But let's move on into our medals for the week. Harrison, if you want to go on and kick us off with your bronze medal.
Yeah, so my bronze medal goes to Paul Pogba because there was a behind-the-scenes look into his life because there's a documentary about him coming out or something. And apparently, he's either making enough or has had such a horrible time at Man United that he turned down $300,000 a week. Like, just let that sink in. The type of money a lot of us will never see, he turned down for a week's worth of payment. That is absolutely insane. I wonder what the reasoning is, but man, anyone who can turn down $300K a week and just be like, yeah, I'm fine with that is just, that's baller as hell. So
It is baller as
Paul
hell.
Pogba.
It is, but that's positive. Let's go negative. My bronze medal goes to Keith Smart, Boston Globe reporter. If you're on Twitter, you see this guy everywhere involving the Boston Celtics, referees, things like that. Not only are the Warriors getting at least double the amount of fouls called on them, but at the same time, though, it's just like you guys are bitching about flopping, but all Marcus Smart did all year was flop. Your coach literally said, I need to teach my guys how to flop more. He said that in the second round. So it's like, get the fuck out of here with this shit. You guys need to like realize like what you're complaining about is what you've done the entire playoffs, and now you're just upset that it's happening back to you. Grow up. Congratulations, you guys finally lost, and I hope this happens kind of like the Oklahoma City Thunder, where Jason Tatum goes to the Lakers, Jaylen Brown ends up somewhere else, and you're stuck with Marcus Smart, even though I love Marcus Smart. But tough scenes for Boston that something just doesn't go their way, and now they're acting like the world's ending. So moving on to our silver medals. Harrison, if you want to go first, go ahead.
Yeah, my silver medal goes to delusional Boston fans because they're going to need
right on
something
mark, right on
right?
line.
Yeah, like they're going to need something because it's going to be over after tonight. Like, I don't think there's any doubt between either of us that Boston's losing this game. But
You mean winning?
man? Oh, winning. Yeah,
we don't
winning.
see him winning because like real quick, you have Steph Curry coming off a terrible shooting performance, which he usually scores around 35 points per game after a performance like that. And you got Game 6 Clay.
Clay.
You got a woken Andrew Wiggins. Drade's playing better.
Maple Jordan.
Yeah, and then the Celtics are literally a bottom 3 clutch team. So there's that too. So anyway, go back into your delusional Boston fans. I love it.
Yeah, it's just great. And like we were talking about Boston media just now. Their media is so diluted. Their fans are so diluted. It's just the most diluted city in all of American sports. And I'm gonna love watching them lose. It's gonna be beautiful.
The scenes on Twitter and scenes on social media, seeing them. Chef's kiss. I'm gonna give a chef's kiss and all. It'll be chef's kiss. I'm gonna go ahead and give my silver medal goes out to Ryan Whitney. If you aren't aware, he's literally making changes in Canada. I don't know the full story, but the fact that like Parliament and Congress in Canada are literally referring to Ryan Whitney as a podcaster, like that's funny as fuck. I just think it's really funny how he's literally, it took Ryan Whitney, the bitch on Twitter, for Canada to make a bunch of changes in their country. So shout out Ryan Whitney, you get my silver medal.
They're not even calling him Ryan Whitney. They're just calling him Wit, which is incredible.
So Canadian.
They don't even need to say his whole name. It's just Wit.
It's just it just further proves the point that Canada is just a bunch of hockey players just in suits.
Gotta love Canada.
Gotta love it. Harrison, your gold medal.
My gold medal, also a Canadian thing, because the Stanley Cup final game 1 was last night.
Yes.
And it was just about as perfect game one as you could expect. Colorado roars out to an early lead. Tampa Bay scores twice within a minute to tie it back up. We get overtime hockey, and the home team wins. And it wasn't Tampa Bay. So, like, it was just a perfect game one of hockey.
It was a great
You
game.
couldn't have asked for any more. Like, Colorado looked great. Tampa Bay looked great. The crowd were into it. It was just perfect. And
It was a great
the Stanley
kickoff.
Cup final is well and truly here.
It was a great kickoff to the Stanley Cup Finals. It was a great kickoff. It's too bad, unfortunately, for Colorado. They're probably going to win the first 2 games, and then they're going to lose the next 4. That's kind of how it works for the Lightning.
Yep.
They just start off bad, make a bunch of adjustments, and then they run away with it. We're looking at a 3-peat.
John Cooper is the best coach in hockey for a reason. He just adjusts on the fly and wins series.
Watch hockey. At least you know the difference between the hockey and the NBA. NBA, I mean, once you get about halfway through the fourth quarter, nothing else is going to change, especially with these 2 teams. Well, actually, no. If the Celtics are up and it's like a 5-point game, maybe you could say I would say the Warriors might be able to pull it off. But in hockey, though, like literally, the Lightning were down 3-1. I think going in the third period, right?
No, in the second.
It was a second they came back. Okay, regardless, though, they came back, went into OT. OT was electrifying. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I'm moving on to my gold medal. Going back to the NBA, we go to fake Klay Thompson. If you've never heard of Big Dawes TV before, welcome. He's been doing this for years, and he's gone viral pretty much a couple different times. And then he goes through like 5 levels of security, goes on the floor, starts shaking jumpers. And the thing that gave him away is he airballed a layup. And then some security person was like, oh, you're not Klay Thompson. There's no way that would ever happen. So the only reason he didn't get away with it was because he airballed a layup. But shout out my boy Big Dawes. He's been doing this for years. And also he kind of started off like he was trying to victimize himself. But he's been going with it pretty easily now, and respect to that, but also respect to him for like the publicity he's getting. I love it. It's he's the man. Love fake Klay.
Love fake Klay.
All right. So any shout outs, Harrison?
No, I mean, shout out the Phillies for another walk off yesterday, but don't need to go too in depth into that.
So there's Philly. There's our Philly talk for the week. I'm gonna give a shout out to Shaquille O'Neal. It is 2022.
DJ Diesel.
Yeah, DJ Diesel. Shout out him. There was a story came out where Shaquille O'Neal walked into showers, went up to Jason Richardson. Hey, man, you got a fat ass, man. Jason Richardson in the showers. Shout out Shaq for being a dog and being progressive way back in the 90s. And then shout out Jameis Winston. Just because Andrew Wiggins winning that Finals MVP or being the real Finals MVP, if Jameis Winston takes the Saints to the playoffs, I'm going to be insufferable. And everyone's raving about him in Saints camp. So prepare for me to be insufferable here in about like 6 months. So that's what we got for the show.
If we get Wiggins and Winston getting their respective Finals MVPs, it's over. If
Jameis Winston gets an MVP, I will actually be insufferable. I have so many receipts. But that's what we got for the show, guys. Next week, we got Brent Primus on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. We also got Cody Law, rising star in Bellator. And then we also got Brad Tavares on the come up, a bunch of other guys. It'll be a fun next week of shows. So y'all have a good weekend. We will see you on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with me all the way to the end. I just want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.Fit. If you're looking to better yourself, make sure you go to download the app or visit the website Living.Fit today.